Hello everyone, I'm Dan from Ace RV Rentals and Sales, and today we're going to be taking a look at our brand new 2024 Thor Twist 2JB with a pop-up on the top. That's right, this is a custom made with a queen bed on top so you can sleep 2 more people, up to 4 sleeping in this RV. And today, just like always, I will be giving you the full walkthrough inside and outside of this RV, so you'll be all set and prepared when renting from us. I'll start off by mentioning the dimensions of this RV. This is going to be about 21 feet long, and we like to say the height is 12.5 feet, although it is a little bit shorter than that, but keep the number 12.5 in mind for parking garages, drive-thrus, tunnels, all things like that. Next up here, we have our fuel inlet right over here. So all you want to do is just open up this panel here. Here is your fuel, is just 87 regular gas, no premium, no diesel, and the tank is going to be about 24 gallons. We'll move on down here where we have our propane tank. So this kind of propane tank, the size, it should last you a good week or so before you'll have to refill it. If you do have to refill it, truck stations and campsites, they will do that for you. But all you want to do is just flip this little switch on. You can see the red light turns on here. That means your propane system is working. The propane will be for things like your water heater, your furnace, your stove, as well as your fridge when you're not plugged into a campsite or an external power source. In case you need to refill this, truck stations and campsites will do it for you. Above that, we have our power cord connector. So we will provide you with all the cords and hoses that you'll need for your rental. So you just need the 30 amp cord, just stick it in here when you're at a campsite or you have external power. So this RV takes 30 amp service. Once you're plugged in, all the major electrical appliances inside will be working. That'll be your AC unit on the roof, your microwave, your TV, as well as all your power outlets in the back here. Next up, we have our water system. So when it comes to the water system, we actually have 2 different inlets, although we'll be using the same hose for either of them. So we have our city water inlet and we have our freshwater inlet. So each of these will do 2 different things. So our freshwater inlet, this will be to fill up the tank itself. So I think this is 27 gallons for this RV. When you're dry camping, you're boondocking, you're not connected to any sort of water system, you want to use the sink, shower, toilet, you're going to take it off of the tank and this will be how you fill it up. That's opposed to the city water inlet over here. So this will be for when you're at a campsite or you have someone else's pump and you want to use their water instead of your own. So hooking it up over here will bypass your tank and it will go directly into your pipes. Next up here we have our TV cable connection. You just want to hook up the little black wire that will give you into here at a campsite so you have cable connection for your TV. Over here we have a little connection, so we'll give you a little blue spiral cord. It's like a little spray hose, an outside shower. So if you want to wash off dirt or sand before you head inside, you're just going to hook it up over here. Next we'll go over dumping your waste tanks. So we have 2 waste tanks for this RV, a black tank, which is for your toilet water, right here. And then we have a gray waste tank, which is down here, that is for your sink and shower wastewater. So starting off with the black water, this is how you dump it out. Push down on each of these 2 buttons right here until it clicks, so you can open it up like that. And then you see this little blue latch down here. You're just going to lift it up and that will allow you to pull out this box right here. So this is directly underneath the toilet, so it will just go directly into this box. Just pull it out just like that, unscrew the cap, and then just pour this down your sewage. Once you're done, just make sure once you push it in, it clicks. And below the black tank, we have our gray tank over here. So this will be for our sink and shower water. All you want to do is just take this sewer hose that's already connected to the RV on the other end, stick this in your sewage at your campsite, and from there we have our valve to open and close the dumping. So right now it's pulled out, which means it's open. If there were anything in the hose, it would be coming out right now. But once the levels inside on the control panel say that the gray tank is empty, you can just push it back in to close it and close everything up here and you're all good to go. This little here is your exhaust for the furnace, so just don't touch it, expect it to be hot. This black cord here is your power cord, so you're just going to hook it up into the little outlet I showed you on the driver's side. And in this bag we have everything else, starting off with our little black wire. This is our TV cable I was talking about. We have our freshened city water hose over here, so same hose for both inlets. We have our blue spiral cord here. This is our outside shower spray hose kind of thing. And then lastly, we have our 30 amp to 15 amp adapter. You can put this onto the end of your power cord. In case you don't have 30 amp wherever you're going, you have a little 15 amp, just like a regular wall outlet. You just stick this on here. Everything inside should work off of 15 amp except for your AC unit. It's a little bit too powerful. And now onto the passenger side. The only real thing I have to show you here is we have some regular power outlets over here. You just want to make sure that you are plugged in to campsite, or shore power as we call it, or your generator is running for these to work. I'll talk more about the generator inside. So that concludes the outside portion of this walkthrough, so we can head inside here. I'm just gonna open up the sliding door, just like that. We also have a little fly screen net here. You just wanna unravel it with the buckles here and then just zip it along. There are a couple things to note. Right at the entrance here, we have our fire extinguisher for safety. We also have a smoke detector and a carbon monoxide and propane detector equipped in this RV as well. And over here is our dial to turn on and off our house battery. So just like your car is a car battery, the back coach here has its own house battery, and this will be for very minor electrical things like the lights or the water pump. Basically that means you don't need to be plugged into a campsite to use a light. So this will be charged in a lot of different ways. When you're plugged in at a campsite, when your generator is running, even when your engine is running, it will all charge the house battery. So unless you plan on staying, just walking away from your RV for several days at a time, this will not die on you, so you can just leave it on. Over here is our tablet with the control panel on it. So this is pretty much the most important part of the inside of the RV. This will tell you pretty much everything you need to know. So all I'm going to do is just go down each of these tabs, which will give us different settings and controls. So this little home setting just gives you a brief overview of everything you need to take a quick look at. Next, I'm going to click on this teardrop icon. We have our water system. So we have our fresh water tank, which is empty, and our gray water tank, which is also empty. I can press this button here to turn on our water pump. So if you want to draw water ever from your own tank, you want to have this on. So if you want to use the sink or shower toilet, just make sure you have that on. However, if you are plugged into a campsite, you actually want to have this off, and if you're connected to city water, since you want to use their pump and not your own. So if you're connected to city water, have that off. Next up, we have our tank heaters. You only want to turn that on if you plan on going to a place where it is below freezing, just to prevent your waste tanks from freezing over. I'll skip the AC for now until we turn the generator on, so I'll just go down to the light bulb icon. These are all of our lights. You can just tap any of them here to turn them on and off. You also have some quick access ones right down here. I'll skip the lightning bulb just really quick, just to show you the fans here. So this one only is equipped with a bathroom fan, which you can turn on and off with the control panel here. Now I'll go back to the lightning bolt icon. We have our coach battery. This is a house battery, as well as the chassis battery. That is our car battery, so you can check the voltage on that. We have our propane tank over here. That's the LP tank. Right now it's empty. But up top here is our generator settings. So a little bit about the generator. It is basically a substitute for when you're not plugged in at a campsite. So if you're not plugging with your 30 amp power cord to a campsite, you want to use major electrical appliances like the AC, microwave, TV, power outlets. You want to have your generator on. Your generator will run on engine gas. So as long as you're at least a quarter tank full of gas, you will be fine, and this will run perfectly. Another thing to note is you should not run the AC and the microwave at the same time when you're on the generator. Sometimes it's a little bit too powerful for it, and it might cause it to trip, and then you have to go underneath the chassis and just flip a breaker. So just keep in mind, if you're on the generator, you're using the AC, just turn it off real quick if you want to use the microwave. If you are plugged in at a campsite though with your 30 amp power cord, you're more than fine. We ask that you run the generator for no more than 3 hours at a time maximum, and then have it off for 2 to 3 hours just to prevent it from overheating. And now to start the generator, you just hold down start here. You'll see the status here change to starting. Just give it a few seconds and then you will hear it kick in. And now the generator is running. You're gonna wait about 30 seconds and then you'll hear the microwave beep. That means that everything inside will be working. With the generator on, I can go back to the thermostat and show you the AC settings. So it's very simple. You just tap this single button and it will show you the what temperature you'd like it to be. You can just use the 2 arrows at the bottom here. We can use cool, which is the AC with the compressor. We can just use the fan itself, and then we can adjust the fan speed low or high here as well. Turning off the generator can be done simply by pressing stop here. To my right on the passenger side here, we have our little kitchen area. So we have a microwave here. There's a standard house microwave. Just remember not to run the AC and the microwave at the same time when you're using the generator. Below that, we have our stove here. So this is going to run on propane. All you want to do is just set either of these to light and then just hit the pilot light here to spark the flame. You should wait a few minutes once you're done with the stove before you put the top back on. You don't want to get the propane trapped in there. Sometimes the glass here might burst. Below that, we have our refrigerator. So the fridge will run on propane when you're not plugged in, when you're just driving on the road. But when you do plug in at a campsite, it will automatically switch over to electricity. So no matter what, your fridge will stay cold your entire rental. You have a little charging station here if you want to plug in like a kettle or something. USB, USB-C as well. Just make sure you're plugged in or generator is running for these to work. And lastly, we have just a standard kitchen sink with a tabletop here if you want more counter space, and just a bit more storage underneath. And here we are in the back of the RV. We have a lot of overhead storage here on both sides, to my right and my left. You have a little cabinet in here as well. It has a pull in there in case you want to hang your clothes. You can take those shelves out. And we have our seating area over here. So we have a little couch here, 2 seating areas over here, and we can turn this into one big bed. I'll show you that, but first I'll just show you how to put the table in real quick. All I want to do is just align this shape onto the shape on the ground here. You should feel it go in, and then you can just turn it clockwise just to tighten the table pole. And then you can just put the tabletop onto the leg here. And here is our table. I should also note that we have 2 more seat belts in the back here, in addition to 4 in the front, so that makes 6 total. Now let's show you how to turn this into a bed. First, you want to pull this up and out like a futon. Just like that. Next, we can take the tabletop and just rest it on these ledges here. And lastly, we can put the cushions on top of the tabletop here, and this is our bed. To my left on the driver's side here, we have our bathroom. This is a combined sink, shower, and toilet. For our toilet, we have that blue button on the wall there, that's to flush it. And we can open and close the entry to the black water tank with this little gray lever over here. And behind the toilet, we have our that little green sensor over there. We'll show you the level of the black tank. So right now it's fully green, which means it's empty. When it becomes half full, it'll be half green, half red. And when it's completely full, it will be completely red. Now's a good time to mention that toilet paper is RV specific, so you want to get RV Marine dissolvable toilet paper from the camping section at Walmart, or campsites will also sell it. During your rental, we'll also give you a couple bottles of solution. You can just pour that down the toilet into the black tank whenever the smell comes up, so use as needed. And we also have our little pop-out sink here, and our faucet for the shower. To operate the windows, you just want to squeeze on this right here, and you can pull it out to open. You'll see that we can also connect or detach this fly screen right here. And our blinds we can just unravel and zip around. In case you don't need the table here during your travels, you can actually stow the table and the arm. You can just detach it and make it loose or tighten it with this little latch here. You also have the same latch over here and a little dial at the bottom here. We have our furnace and hot water settings on this separate panel over here. So for the furnace, we have this little symbol here, the RV with the thermostat, and then we have our thermometer in the water here. This is our hot water. So I'm just turning this dial here counterclockwise and clockwise to go left or right. I'm going to go over to the hot water, just push the button in here. Right now it's off. I'm just going to turn it clockwise to the right, just 2 times over to hot. I'm just going to press that, and now it is using your propane to heat up your water. So only have this on when you need it, since it'll be constantly draining your propane. So if you want to take a hot shower, just plan 10-15 minutes in advance. To turn it off, you just do the same thing. Just go over to the thermometer here, turn it back to the left, back to off, press it one more time, and that turns off your hot water. It's the exact same thing for the furnace. For the furnace, you just turn it to the right here, and then we can adjust the temperature. And now to show you the overhead bunk over here. So starting off, we just have this lock. So when it's in the horizontal position, that locks the pop-up. I'm just going to turn it over here to the vertical position, and I can push it in actually. As I push it in, it'll allow you to push it up and out. Just make sure to unfasten these safety buckles first. From there, as you're pushing down on this, you can push up on these little two handles on either side, and then eventually it'll just gradually go up by itself. Up there, you'll notice we can fit 2 more people to sleep. We have lights, power outlets, windows you can zip up and down, even a skylight here with half and full blinds. So you can just pull it down the same way we pushed it up. Just make sure to buckle up afterwards and to lock the SkyBunk here and take the key out. We'll also provide this ladder here that will just be hooked onto these gray ledges over here to access the SkyBunk a lot more easily. During your rental, we'll provide you with this little envelope with a lot of useful things. Starting off with our online guide, you can just scan this QR code here. This will answer almost every question you have about just RVing in general. If that doesn't answer your question, we also have a 24/7 roadside assistance number. So you can give this a call with any question you have. This is via CoachNet third-party service. No matter how stupid you think the question is, they'll be more than happy to answer it for you. Just in case, we also have some extra fuses for the fuse box. They can help you out with that. And we also have a registration in this envelope as well. Here we are in the front cab of the RV. So this is pretty much just like a normal truck. You have your AC system over here. We even have a wireless charger if you want to put your phone there. In this little control panel here, we have our radio. We can connect our phone with Bluetooth. It even has CarPlay and Android Auto if you want to use that instead. It will also have our rear view camera. So if I just push down on my foot here with the brake here, push on the start button with the wireless key in range, I'll just turn the engine on here. I put this in reverse, and we have our rear view camera over here. Another point of interest is our parking brake over here. So we have to pull on it towards us to engage it. You see that yellow light turn on in there, and you see the brake light on your dashboard. Then I'm just going to push in to disengage it, and that's it. And that will be all for our 2024 Thor Twist 2JB with the Popup. I'm Dan from Ace RV Rentals and Sales, and have a great trip.